Susan Brown.
I told you that there was one medicine that you could take that would help you build resilience, help boost your immune system, give you lots of energy, help you live longer. Would you be interested in that?
Absolutely.
I am. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that medicine is breathing. As a therapist, for a number of years, I've always talked to my clients about the importance of breath work and how when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling depressed, we can use our breath to help settle our emotions. But I really hadn't done a lot of reading about it. So for this particular project, I thought maybe I should do a bit more research. And I discovered some things that I didn't know, which I am now incorporating in my work. So the first thing that I did was I have this book here. It's called Breathe by Dr. Melissa Varnick. She talks about the fact that our breath over time has changed. That when we are born, when we're little babies, if you can imagine little babies and looking at them, when you watch them breathe, their bellies go up and their bellies go down. Bellies up, bellies down. Look at your pets. Your dogs, cats, all animals breathe again, belly up, belly down. But for us humans, what happens is that we start breathing out that way, and as we get a little bit older and we start to go to school, we spend more time sitting down. And when we're sitting down, our upper body compresses, and so we don't breathe quite as deeply, and we don't breathe quite the same. Then, when you're in high school, they say, oh, you know, you gotta hold your abdomen in, you gotta hold your stomach in, so that when you're, you know, when people are looking at you, they don't say that you're fat or overweight. And so we got used to holding our stomachs in. And then now we're in a workplace where we spend most of our time sitting. And again, our breath is quite compressed. She suggests that there's two kinds of breathing. There is vertical breathing and horizontal breathing. And that the most important thing for us to be doing is horizontal breathing. That when we are inhaling, we need to be working from our chest down. So when you watch most people, when they breathe, their shoulders go up, and their shoulders go down, and their shoulders go up, and their shoulders go down. That's the vertical breathing, and that's not the best kind of breathing to do. So we want to make sure that we're taking a full inhale, and then we're expanding our abdomen, and then contracting our abdomen. She says, like you're, as if you are pushing your belly button to the back of your spine. And you can tell a good breather because their shoulders don't move when they breathe. So the second thing that I learned from Patrick McGowan and his book, The Oxygen Advantage, and he is a pretty popular guy, and there's a lot of really interesting information in there. He talks about the importance of the diaphragm when we breathe. And he talks about the importance of nose breathing, that we should breathe through our noses and not our mouths. Our noses were made for breathing, our mouths for eating. And what happens is that a lot of people breathe through their mouth. I am a mouth breather, I will attest to that. I've been working hard on changing that, but it's a habit that we got into. And when we mouth breathe, we only fill the top part of our chest. When we nose breathe, we're breathing right down deeper into our lungs. And our lungs actually, like if you feel your ribs here, and then you put your hands like this, that's where your lungs end down here. Your lungs aren't just in your chest, they sit down here as well. And the diaphragm is in between there. And so when we nose breathe, we are breathing into that lower part of our lungs, which makes better oxygen, and the blood gets better oxygenated. So it's important to remember to breathe through your nose and exhale through your nose. When we inhale through our nose, the nose hairs prevent those contaminants from going into our lungs because the hair in the nose cleans that out. It also warms the air that's coming into our body. And I was just listening to Patrick McGowan the other day, And he said that if you're mouth breathing, when you're inhaling those contaminants, they stay in your lungs a lot longer than when you're nose breathing. So from a health perspective, that would be very good to be able to do that. So so when we nose breathe, that we want to expand, that helps to build our diaphragmatic muscle. And Belinda Varner says that as over time, and we spend more time sitting, our diaphragm becomes a weak muscle. And it's actually big. It's not just that little red line that we see in the picture in the doctor's office. So for me, I'm a mouth breather, especially at night. So if you're somebody that snores, or your partner snores, or you wake up in the morning and just like, oh, my mouth is so dry, I need water, you're probably a mouth breather. And one of the things that Patrick suggests is that we tape our mouths at night. So you get some surgical tape, fabric tape, that doesn't hurt when you rip it off, and you put it over your mouth. And so when I first read this, I was like, I can't do that, that's crazy. And so but I kept waking up in the night going, oh God, you're mouth breathing, close your mouth. And so the last few nights, I have literally been taping my mouth on an angle and not straight across, because I think that just made me feel weird. So I put it on an angle, and honestly, I slept better. I have this app that monitors my sleep, and it said I didn't snore at all. So think about that if you want to train yourself to breathe. And then the third piece, maybe I've already got there, diaphragmatic breathing. Yes, and so we want to make sure that our diaphragm is well exercised. We want to make sure that we're breathing horizontally, not vertically. We want to make sure that we're breathing through our nose so that the air that we take in is nice and clean, and we don't have to worry about catching all that stuff in our lungs. So if you want to have good resilience, breathe through your nose, breathe deeply, and exhale fully.